Hey guys, what's up? I wanted to make a quick video about something that I had discovered about my Tudor Black Bay when I got it. I purchased it very shortly after it came out, which I believe was 2018 Basel World. I purchased this in October, I believe, of 2018. And I've posted about this particular topic very briefly before on Rolexforums and Reddit. Just a couple of random posts here and there, nothing ever really formal or anything like that. But I wanted to show something that I thought was actually quite cool and something that people might not actually know much about. And that is that obviously the Tudor Black Bay is the 58, by the way. The 58 is meant to be sort of like, it's a very popular watch, and a lot of people are really into it because it's sort of the quote-unquote perfect Black Bay. It's a real sort of enthusiast's choice, especially if you're into vintage watches. And one thing that I discovered was previous to me owning this, I actually owned a 5513, a Meter's First no date sub from, I think it was 1971. And I had right before buying that, I had actually purchased a separate bracelet. I had purchased a 93150 bracelet. And the reason why is because I didn't really like the folded link bracelet that the 5513 came on. And I was looking at my Tudor Black Bay one day, and I realized that the end links, and let's see if we can focus this here. The end links of the Black Bay, at least in design, visually, they are extremely similar, basically, to the end links that you would find on old subs, old Rolex Submariners. All the way until they started doing solid end links, which I believe was, and somebody can feel free to correct me because I'm not really up to date on this stuff. I think that was either late 90s or early 2000s that they started using solid end links. And visually, the difference is that you can see that the, let's see, I'm going to just point with a pen here. The spring bar goes through here, and this little section right here is actually part of the bracelet, and the end link can detach from the rest of the bracelet, and it's really just, the bracelet is really just held to the end link by the actual spring bar, which ends up holding everything in place. Once they started using solid end links, everything else, everything sort of changed, where the end link ended up becoming part of the bracelet. It was integrated in a way, and the spring bar would still go through in the same section, same location, but this little middle section of the end link would actually be a single piece attached to the rest of this right here. And so it kind of looks like this. It's a GMT that I own. See if that focuses. So you can see the difference where the center section of the end link actually goes into the bracelet. It doesn't cut off right there, and it's attached. You can't remove the end link from the rest of the bracelet. So the reason why I noticed that is essentially identical to what my 5513 had, and it would be identical to any pre-solid end link Submariner that you can find. So I had a thought. I took I owned both watches at this point. I don't own the 5513 anymore, but I took the bracelet that I purchased, the 93150, and I just put it on the end links that came with the Black Bay, and it fits basically perfectly. And so what's cool about this, and this might not matter to some people, but I find what's kind of neat about it is that, the Black Bay 58 is meant to be a modern interpretation of a vintage sub, basically, right? And an old Tudor sub. And when you put the sort of the older style Rolex bracelet on it, it kind of ends up giving it that perfect mix between modern and vintage, I find, because you've got modern construction, you've got a sapphire crystal, and you've got, that reliability. You don't really mind banging it around so much, and it's got water resistance that you can trust. You're not so worried about it like you would be with an older sub, especially like a 4-digit sub. But you get sort of a vintage feel in terms of the bracelet. It's so comfortable. And also, of course, you still get the vintage aesthetics. You know, you get the bevels, you get the no crown guards and the big crown here, you get the snowflake hands. And it ends up wearing very different to what it would wear with a stock bracelet, which is this guy, which is a good bracelet. It's extremely well made, but a lot of people complain, obviously, about the fact that you've got, let's see if I can get this to focus, but the fact that you've got fake faux rivets on it. I mean, and also I'm not a fan of this sort of like stepped, the way that the links go up in size in a stepped sort of fashion rather than a sort of gradual fashion like this guy. Not that a riveted bracelet is necessarily a bad thing, but they're fake rivets, and I think that just goes a little too far in the whole pretending to be vintage thing. So I much preferred wearing the Black Bay 58 with this bracelet on it. It just made it feel just right. And I wanted to record this video because I don't know that the photos that I've posted to Rolex forums, things like that, really bring it across that well. There's some stretch in this one. Let me put it on really quick. Maybe that'll sort of give a better idea. You can see that it matches perfectly. The brushed finish is identical. And although you might be able to see there's like maybe a 0.5 millimeter gap between the little cutout of the end link and the middle section of the bracelet, but it's not noticeable on the wrist at all. And it just ends up feeling correct. I don't really know how else to describe it. I feel like people who are into vintage Rolex and vintage subs will understand what I'm talking about. It just feels right. And I think that this is like a worthy upgrade. I know to some it might seem like a downgrade, you know. If you're obsessed with modern Rolex bracelets, which are fantastic, you know, like the one on this GMT here, they are brilliant. Like, I don't think anybody does bracelets better than Rolex does. Truth be told, even nobody, you know, even AP. But like, this is an upgrade in the sense of getting something that just feels like a perfect sort of daily vintage style tool watch, but you still have modern construction. So short of getting, you know, like some of the 5-digit subs, some of the early 5-digit subs, I think would really sort of suit this well as well. But there's something about the Black Bay, I feel, that just really hits it home. I just think it's perfect. And believe it or not, because I got this, I actually ended up getting rid of my Meters First sub. I'm not sure if that was the right decision yet, obviously, and I think that I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but it is what it is. But yeah, this is how you can get sort of a more of a vintage feel on your Black Bay 58. Thanks for watching.